guys, and welcome to yet another speed build. We are back, and this time we are in Sulani, which is a very, very, very different experience to where we were last time in the Magic HQ. So yeah, just quick note, Glimmerbrook has been fully finished. All of the builds are up on the gallery, also on my Tumblr, which is always linked in the description box. I will find some time maybe after I've finished the next build, which is out this week. I will find time to put everything together into a Tumblr post and do a save file for Glimmerbrook, and I'll have a video out for that, I think, probably. And yeah, so more to come this week anyway. So yeah, back to this build. I have had a board for Sulani ideas since before it was even released, and I dipped into that board because I'd pinned something else there recently, and then I was like, no, I'm not going to do that idea I thought I was going to do. I'm going to do this one instead. This one captured my idea again. I have a whole load of, they're called Shophouses, and I think they're most popular in Singapore. I don't know if they're anywhere else in Asia as well, but definitely very much in Singapore. There are lots of these shophouses, basically houses with, not houses, oh my god, shops that also have houses above them, and also lots of people are now converting them into just houses instead of having shops in them. So this lot here is kind of a combination of the two. This is just a residential lot, it's not a retail lot. Of course, if you want to turn it into a retail lot, you can, but you'd have to do the actual shop bit. So yeah, this section that I'm building now is going to end up being the house that your Sims can live in, and then what I've done is shop fronts and decorated it to look like it's like kind of like a street view. I've put signs on the outside and all like kind of debug items to make it look lifelike, but hopefully your computer shouldn't struggle too much with this. It is it's only on the 30 by 20 lot. There is a lot of detail on the build, but the entire inside of what 3/4 of this is completely empty. So yeah, it should be nicer to you than the Magic HQ, definitely. I know during the Magic HQ, when I was like eyedropping some of the items, my computer was just taking a little bit longer than normal to think about getting the catalogue item open. So yeah, definitely this one, my computer is running as smoothly as it does for a small build. So hopefully thumbs up for that one. I was inspired by one particular design that I saw to start this build, but it ended up that I didn't take inspiration from that build at all. I found this converted shop house. They'd fully renovated it to be sleek, modern. I know we talked about, hey, modern builds versus traditional builds here on the channel, and I was like, this is the perfect thing. It looks traditional from the outside, and then the inside it's like super sleek, minimalist, modern, like high-end. It had like routed metal grooved walls. It looked sexy AF is what I'm gonna say. But when I started building this and then I knew that I was gonna put that interior in, it just didn't sit well with me. I just couldn't do it. So yeah, we ditched the ultra modern interior, and I ended up doing like a mix between traditional and slightly more modern pieces. So yeah, I'm just happy. I'm happy with that one. I would love to do the ultra modern interior, but I just felt like I didn't have the content I really wanted to enable me to do it. I think I could definitely do like the kitchen would be great in it. And there's some Felix Anders sofas, modern sofas that I do actually use in this build. That would be great for that interior, but the rest of the build, I didn't really feel 100% being able to pull off exactly what I had in my head. From my own knowledge, there isn't a CC creator out there that perhaps has that high-end quality CC that I was looking for this build. Yeah, that is Max's match as well, because I'm basically 100% Max's match right now. Even when I use Peacemaker now, which he's not Max's match, he's kind of like Maxis, detailed Maxis is what he calls it. I now don't use all of his content just alone. I always mix it in with EA content. So if you ever see a Peacemaker only build from me, it's probably going to have a lot of Maxis content in it, to kind of mix and blend it so it doesn't look too alpha to me. So yeah, there's no one that does that like high-end CC, so I'm just like, when am I going to find time to try and make this stuff? Or at least maybe just like poke someone and be like, please. So yeah, that's why I didn't do the super modern interior, but I'm happy with how it turned out. And I really actually have loads of fun doing this bigger build, but not a big build, if you get what I mean. Like, if I do a big build and it's just one house, that is, yeah, let me tell you, it's taxing on the brain. And starting it is kind of scary. But this one, it was like, I knew I was only going to ever furnish one build. So I was just having fun doing the exterior and getting it exactly the way I wanted. And I really did have fun putting like all the debug items around to make it actually look more lifelike and realistic. Putting in like debug cars. I have like newspaper stands outside one of the buildings, and putting all these shutters on. I've got to say, these Felixander Georgian shutters are so... I think they're one of my favorite things to use of his content, because they just they make this build without the shutters is nothing. You can of course use the ones in game. Like, I would love it if they could give us shutters like this that are modular, that can fit onto any window, but they don't. They're always attached to the windows. So they of course always either open, or I think they have a couple that are shut, but it normally changes the cutout. I think they just do that to make sure that your shutters don't like clip into each other if you're placing too close. So yeah, that's, I do, you'll see like on the pink building, I did attempt to do like EA in-game windows with shutters already on them, and I just like, eesh. No, thank you, ma'am. And then went back to all of the CC. I'm sorry. You know, I told you I'm finding it pretty difficult. When I first started doing this, I was like, I wonder if I could do this just like CC free. And I was like, no, because I just want the shutters. I can't say no to the shutters. So yeah, there's plenty of CC on there. There is, of course, as always, a link in the description for all of the custom content used. Just off the top of my head, I can tell you I've definitely used the Georgian set. I've used the Colonial set from Felixander. I've used the Sherwin Castle set. I've used the Petit Trianon set, and I've used the Georgian set. Did I already say Georgian? I'm not too sure. Yeah, those three, I think, are the mains. Oh, and the Gothic set also is on here. Lots of them. Definitely more than 4 months worth on this build. So, yeah. And then I've used the kitchen in this, and all the plants from the kitchen, because I didn't use them in the Magic HQ, and I was like, oh, I miss you. Beautiful plant. Beautiful? I miss you, beautiful plants. I've got to say, I'm just like, I'm more here for the plants. I feel like I should make that my mission statement. Apart from making plants for The Sims is really, really difficult. What I did were mesh edits, which is just like, yay. But making plants from scratch for The Sims is a very, very difficult job. And that's why I'm just like, put more plants in, I can do more mesh edits, because creating plants from scratch in The Sims is a really, really, really difficult job. Like, the whole stylized leaf thing that they got going on is very specific. If you ever found like 3D models of plants, they are not going to fit into the game. They're going to look alpha AF because they're going to be too realistic. They have a very particular style for their plants in the game. And yeah, they're just... For me, I don't have the skills to recreate that, so that's why I do mesh edits. why is there not a CC creator that has these skills? Please. I would love to see though. I don't know if you know a CC creator called Max20. He does like 100% Max's match. When I say 100%, I mean 100% legit. Looks like the team made it. Not even like Felix's content is Max's match, but it's like slightly more detailed, maybe slightly slimmer sometimes than they may make for the game if they did the same style. Like, for example, Felix's Rococo versus Get Famous Rococo. Yeah. But Max 20 is like 100% Max's match, like legit 100%. He did one really great set. Do you know what? I haven't used it yet. I think I need to do like a kind of like industrial build or something so I can use it and show it all to you and all that good stuff. But he just does the kind of odd pieces here and there. But has only really done one big set, which I think took him several months. I think he started working on it and it took him like 6 months to do it. So I don't think it's going to be a CC creator where I can get loads of content from him, but definitely worth a look if you're looking for Max's Match content. 10 out of 10 would recommend. But yeah, as you can see here, I'm putting on the windows. And I'm just like, and I like slowly start to remove the windows, you'll see in a second, and put in other windows and then try and mix and match, and it just never quite happens. But yeah, so for these, I should do some more about the actual style and all that stuff. So these Singapore houses, normally you'd find like big rows of them, long rows of them, all in the same exact style but different colours. One thing is that they have a whole load of colours. One of the restrictions I had though, because I'm building it in The Sims, is normally, of course, it's just plaster, so they're just going to paint the stuff. So all the trims that you see me add in here would normally be in the colour probably, but I kind of had the restriction and limitation of knowing that I could only use white trims, and then all the colour had to be on the paintwork and also on the shutters and the doors to add the colour rather than it being the trims. You know, I was not about to start recolouring these trims in pink and blue. Let's just say I wouldn't really use them on many a build. So, and I didn't want you to have to download something additional on top. So yeah, the whole thing was I have to use white trims for everything, and then I have to add the colour in some other way. But predominantly in real life, the trims would be matching the walls and or there'd be different colours on the trims versus different colours on the walls. So there might even be 3 or 4 colours on a build, whereas here I've kind of kept it as 2 colours on a build. But yeah, there can be a whole lot more, and of course you can pick out tiny little details of trims in real life, but not in The Sims. So yeah, that's how they would be in real life. Also the style of them, I've done like 4 completely different styled shop houses, but they're going to come in rows of all the same style. I've seen like a road where they're kind of all the same for maybe 8 houses, and then it goes on to another style for another 8 houses, and then there's even a third style on the same road. But yeah, there'd be long rows of them is what I'm trying to say, all in the same style. But here I've had to Simsify the style, because in The Sims, you gotta tweak reality to make it look more interesting. If I'd done all of these in the same style, probably looking at it would be pretty boring. In real life, it looks great because, everyone is kind of different. They have different colours and you can make them unique in their own little way. But in The Sims, everything, of course, is always going to look the same if you use the same elements. So we kind of had to change up the style for every single one to keep it looking interesting, and like details like the debug items, the fire hydrant, I've put like a parking meter out there, the news stand there, and like chairs on the outside. I also added in this corner one. I saw a corner unit of one of these shops and I was like, yes, I need the corner one. That, of course, is another detail. I think I originally planned just to do a row of them, and then you have like two ends that are completely ugly. The back, I've got to say, is not the prettiest thing to look at in real life as well. They normally have like an alleyway running behind them, and they're not built to look pretty from behind, let's put it that way. But in The Sims, of course, you always can see all the way around the whole building. But with doing the corner unit on the left hand side, that meant that there was no ugly side bit. But then I did a kind of ugly side bit on the right hand side because I thought it looked kind of cute being ugly on that side. You know, it's again a little bit different, changing it up, simsifying it. But yeah, these are normally really, really deep, narrow lots and really, really deep. They go back really, really far. Typical characteristics, so they'll have like the front part of it, and then there'll be a courtyard in the middle, and then they'll have the back of the house. Terracotta tiles everywhere. Normally tiles, of course, it's a hot place, they're gonna have tiles on the floor. Yeah, those are the typical characteristics, but I really struggled to try and find a lot. This had to be in Sulani. I thought about doing it in Salvadorada, and it just, no, sorry. And I really struggled to find a lot to do it in Sulani. I was going to do it on like a 20 by 20, and it was only going to be, I think, a row of 3. I couldn't have done the corner lot, and I was like, yeah, here I can do a corner lot and make it all fit in and all that good stuff. So yeah, it was definitely a headache. I started doing this on like a Friday. Evening. I was just playing around trying to figure out what trims and windows I was going to combine together. And then like Saturday afternoon I started doing it. No, Saturday morning I started still continuing just to play, no recording whatsoever. And so if it looks like I really knew what I was doing at the beginning of this, it's because I'd already tested it out and like nearly had done most of the outside before I decided to press record and do it all over again. So yeah, this one took a little bit longer for that. But I thought it was better just for recording purposes. Sometimes when you're indecisive, no matter how you edit it, it always ends up being way, way too long. But anyway, we've already moved into the interior. I started in the kitchen because I thought I knew what I wanted to do. But we end up changing the kitchen completely in a little bit. I did this kitchen. These tiles came with the patch there for the like Arabic update. And yeah, I put these tiles in. I'm not actually a huge fan of these tiles that got patched in. I'm sorry. The only reason I'm not a fan is they look a bit flat to me versus the Jungle Adventure tiles. I really like the patterns they put on there and the colours they used, everything. But they just look a little bit flat to me. I was hoping they would look a bit more three-dimensional, the tiles, versus the Jungle Adventure ones. So I do actually end up coming back in here and using the Jungle Adventure ones. But I kind of for a little while got captivated by the colours in this one. I really did like the colours, and I did the kitchen to match those colours as well. So we used blues here, and the kind of red matches the terracotta tiles on the floor. But I ended up doing then the living room. And the living room was just it used the same colour, like blue, but it used dark wood, and it was just so much more cozy and inviting that I ended up coming back into this kitchen and changing it to the dark wood because the blue is like can be a very cold colour. You can use it with tiny elements, but having that much blue just made me feel cold, and I didn't want you guys to be in this build and feel all cold. Like not too harsh, like it was still inviting, but like the kind of cold that you'd see in Brindleton Bay, kind of cool color palette, and that wasn't what I was going for. I wanted this to be like a cozy, still it may be light colors, but I still wanted it to be cozy and inviting and all that stuff. So yeah, don't get triggered. I've totally placed the TV not in the middle of the room and the cabinets underneath, but I do realise this in a short bit, so just don't get too triggered. I really want to use this hanging sofa somewhere in the build, but I end up not using it at all. I wanted to use it in the courtyard. It would look so gorgeous in the courtyard. Unfortunately, my courtyard is like double story, actually triple story. So it would just kind of be hanging from nothing. Oh my God, I've just realised what I could have done. I could have just put a fence along so it looked like that it was hanging off of a fence. So it looked like there was a support beam that it hung off. Oh my God. You know when you're just like, how could I be that dumb? Yeah. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry, but if you use this build and you do download it, put the hanging sofa in the courtyard there. Please do yourself a favour. I haven't actually uploaded this yet, but I think I'm going to keep it as it is and give you the option to change it to a hanging sofa instead. So yeah, in this one, see, we've used the blue modern sofa. I've mixed, as I said, traditional and modern together. Just a heads up, please keep watching for the master bedroom on the top floor, because I managed to create a new bed using Move objects, and it is delicious, delicioso. Dying for it. Okay, it's a modern bed. Just keep watching just for that modern bed. I'm so happy with it, and it's going to be a trick that I'm going to use in future builds. So yeah, I do change it slightly from what's shown in the video, but I'll talk about that when we get to it. But I really like this whole combo of these like really ornate pieces in this room. The mirror there is from Felix Ander's like Georgian set, and that mirror is just perfect for this room. It went in and it just made the whole room for me, and I'm liking. I've of course mismatched stuff. I do love a bit of an eclectic feel in builds at times, and this is another one, but completely different to other ones that I've kind of done. I did find it a little bit of a brain fart working with tiles on the floor, because I don't normally work with tiles on the floor. Also, I think I did the same in the Magic HQ. I had stone on the floor, this time tiles all throughout, but I really wanted to keep it traditional in that sense. And then we have like this woven wall, and I love this. I don't think I've managed to use this in a build for a very long time. It's actually been quite a while since I've managed to build anything in Sulani. So I was very happy to be back here. Definitely more. I have the build that I was planning to do this month in Sulani, and I ended up not doing it because it was going to be a huge build and I didn't want the brain ache. So I did this one instead. I don't know if you heard that. I just dropped my phone. One sec. Phone just totally dropped. Yeah, so this courtyard now we're moving on to. Personal fave of the build would be the whole courtyard thing, and I love the shutters being open up into it. And again, I've used their archways to make it look like they're for the courtyard going up as well on the next story up. So they're arches from Strangerville, and then the Gothic fence by Felix Ander, and I think the two together is just like yes. So you still have indoor lighting there, and it doesn't affect it. I don't think your sim would ever attempt to walk through those arches anyway, because they're blocked. They don't walk through them because there's something in the way, but then they still look cool, so they'll just walk out this door as per usual. And yeah, it's just like we do have arches, I think, that are windows that kind of look like that, but if you can make it, it's even better, because then it fits perfectly into the space. I think the arches we have are maybe for the short wall height, and this is all on like, I think it's on medium or tall, something like that. But I really like that combo together, and I was super happy because it looks like it's traditional, but it's like they've put a fresh coat of paint on or renovated it. It's just, I just like the combo, okay? I just like the combo. I was half thinking about putting like a swimming pool out here, like literally a dip pool. That's what they call them, don't they? Yep. But I decided not to. I was like, no, let's have it that you can actually sit out here. Again, I haven't taken screenshots of this yet. For some reason, I always do the build. I'm like, it's finished, relax. And then I go on to doing the editing of it, which I'm doing now. I do everything, and then I go back and do the screenshots. And then I'll upload it at the same time. So yeah, I'm not too sure how how good this is going to take to screenshots, but we're going to try it. Sometimes like these are they're not tiny rooms, but in smaller builds you have trouble getting a good screenshot because you can't really back the camera out far enough to take a picture of the whole build. So, you know, YouTuber screenshotter problems is all I'm gonna say. Anyway, this room here is kind of like the spare bedroom, but the study, but the art studio, but this is like the general purpose, do whatever you want in here kind of room. We've just put an easel in here. We've put like a desk with a computer. I thought about turning it into more of a formal office, but decided against that. And yeah, it's just a kind of like, it's the odds and sods room is what I'm going to call it, which is really weird doing a room like this. Maybe I'm more thought out, but I was like, no, I'm going to do this. This, of course, could be turned into a fully functional bedroom if you don't want this spare room kind of look. You can just put a bed in here instead, but I wanted this one. And then at the back of the house we have a second bedroom, and then upstairs is the master bedroom. I do only have one bathroom in here, which is next to this room. I do show the completion of the bathroom because there's only one in there, but I would have loved to fit in an ensuite. It's just that I had the stairs coming up into the master bedroom and it looked kind of weird dividing the room up. I wanted it to be more open and light and bright and make full use of all the windows at either end of the build. So yeah, I didn't put an ensuite upstairs. I was thinking about doing like, you know, they have the bathtubs just in the bedroom, which do look delicious, but the layout of the room was not allowing me to do that. So I was like, no, we're just gonna have to do a bedroom up there and a small little like walk-in closet thing just for decoration. So yeah, in here I've put this first bed in there and I really did like it, like the red on the bedding, but the wood is like this weird grey brown. It's kind of not grey and it's not brown, and it's just this weird, I don't know what I am kind of colour. So it didn't go with the dark woods that I'd done in the rest of the house. I got rid of that and I put this colonial bed in instead. So again, we're mixing the colonial set with more modern things, and this is one of my favourite styles. Also, the rug on the floor is an Art Deco like Chinese rug, which I just thought was delicious. Under that bed, it looks really, really nice. Again, here into the bathroom, it's tiny considering there's 2 bedrooms in here, but what are you going to do? I've used the Jungle Adventure things on the wall. I moved these things over into the corner because I think that the door slides and you don't actually need that side to be free because your sim walks into the left hand side of it. So hopefully that should be okay, fingers crossed. I think I did playtest this. Playtest this room. I'm going to check it before, so if it's changed in the uploaded version, then you know that it was something was slightly wrong. But yeah, still quite a cute bathroom, but bathrooms are bathrooms. I don't get excited, which is why we definitely need more bathroom CC. I'm definitely going to be a champion of the old bathroom CC because, you know, like kitchens, I think for some reason as CC creators seem to be on a like kitchen spree. I know Peacemaker's done like 2 kitchens in like the last month. Me and Felix did a kitchen. There was a little, I don't know what their username is, but did a kitchen. They have these like really high detailed appliances. It's super cool. And I've seen like 2 other people do kitchens in the last month. So yes, this is the bed that I was talking about. Okay, super cool modern platformy beddy thing. Of course, only possible with CC like separated mattresses. Actually, I think you may be able to do this if you had a bed without a headboard. Like the really cheap base game bed, you probably might be able to do this and cover up stuff. Actually, no, you still have the footboard. Anyway, yeah. So I use the cabinets at the end as a headboard, and then I've used the Spa Day stepping stones, but I do actually delete those because when I was playtesting this, your sim could not get in the bed. As pretty as it looked, it didn't work, so that had to be ditched. I end up using these shelves that are from the kitchen set, as underneath. So it perfectly matches the headboard. It's even better than the one you see there. You'll see it in the screenshots. And it's fully functional. It fully covers the underneath of the bed. I think it just can't be too far out the end of the bed to block your Sim's path. It can block the sides but not the end. And so I managed to jiggery poker it around, and I've got 2 shelves underneath to make the platform of the bed, because if it had nothing underneath it would just look weird and like it was floating for no reason, which maybe sometimes you may want a floating bed. In this circumstance I didn't. Putting the 2 shelves under there was just like, I was so happy. I think I did a little chair happy dance when it actually, the Sim could get in to the bed and it all works. So yeah, I'm just, again, putting the last little touches into this. This is the last one we're going to be doing, and it's got a little walk-in closet and stuff. I'm really happy. This sideboard I'm in love with. It's actually a dresser, so if you realise that in the walk-in closet there is actually no functional dressing items in there, don't worry. That sideboard there is actually a dresser, so your Sim can use that. And I just loving the whole light wood on the floor and the walls, and then all the dark wood in the furniture is just, I'm a fan. Not too sure if I'll ever get to use this house. There's many houses I never get to use, but I had fun doing it anyway. So thank you so much for watching. We're moving on to the screenshots, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye guys.